Thank you for joining us in our Golf Channel digital studios. I'm George Savarickas with GolfChannel.com's Will Gray and Golf Channel analyst Tripp Eisenhower looking at the news of the day from Monday at Royal Troon. And we have to start with the big announcement from Jordan Spieth that he is a no-go for the Rio Olympics. Your take on that?
Look, I understand it. These players are in a really bad position, and the threat of Zika is small. It's extremely small. But I think it's a way for these players to understand that their family and the future, and I think the newness of the Olympics has some of this as well. Security issues. There are other things going on in the decision. I don't think Jordan Spieth would ever not want to play for his country. I think this was a really hard decision for him, and I bet he had to struggle with it as a player. But I understand the future of your family is certainly a concern. Even though the risk is small, it's still there.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is a decision that he probably struggled with. You saw him go basically right down to the deadline before making his decision. But the fact of the matter is that now we have the top 4 players are all out of the Olympics. 6 out of the top 10, George, are going to be sitting it out, and it just kind of changes the dynamic. I mean, the Olympics are still going to be special, and there's going to be a lot of novelty involved with the first gold medal winner since 1904, but this field is going to look far different than I think anyone expected it even a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, especially on paper, for sure. And this is the 4 guys who will represent the Stars and Stripes as it's slated right now. Bubba Watson, Rickie Fowler, Patrick Reed, and Matt Kuchar getting in place of Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth. Now let's shift the focus to the first and second round groupings that were released today, and let's focus on the big 4. We start with Jason Day, the world #1 at 4:25 a.m. Eastern Time with Rickie Fowler and Danny Willett.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Day clearly got to be one of everybody's favorites. The way he's playing, the confidence he's done, really, since last year when he left this putt that short right in the jaws. Danny Willett's kind of been on a Masters hangover, if you will, a couple of missed cuts. And,
those are the best kind of hangovers.
Well, it's a great hangover to have. It's a great, but he's got a world-class game. I would be surprised if he plays well here, but we'll see. And then Rickie Fowler, up and down this year, really struggling for Rickie Fowler, and 3 straight missed cuts in a row. Tie for 10th at Bridgestone, so maybe, just maybe, the game is getting back in form.
Now let's go to world #2, Dustin Johnson, as hot as any guy in the world right now with Martin Kaymer and Russell Knox.
Yeah, DJ's going to have a lot of attention on him as world #2, going for 3 wins in a row, and he's playing with 2 guys who are probably flying under the radar, but could be very interesting bets. Martin Kaymer, 2-time major champion, starting to play better at the right time, and Russell Knox coming off that top 10 in front of the hometown crowds. Again, playing in Scotland this week, he'll have plenty of support.
They're off at 9:04 a.m. Eastern Time, a little more palatable for those who enjoy a rather normal and nocturnal sleep schedule. #3, Jordan Spieth with Justin Rose and Shane Lowry.
Well, Jordan Spieth, you look at his last 4 starts, he's got 2 top 5s, including a win, but he's got a 57th and a 37th in there. So kind of inconsistent Jordan Spieth this year. I think that continues. Even though he did play well at Bridgestone, I don't think the iron game's quite fixed.
Not sipping the Kool-Aid?
No, I'm not. And Justin Rose, a miscut at the U.S. Open, where I thought Oakmont was a perfect venue for Justin Rose, much like Marion was. And then Shane Lowry, of course, what he did at the U.S. Open, how well he played. Shane Lowry wouldn't surprise me to be part of the story. I don't think he'll win, but he has been playing some decent golf.
All right, they're off at 4:03 a.m. At 4:36, Rory McIlroy, Hideki Matsuyama, Bubba Watson.
This is the Pro Tracer Special. This is ball striker's paradise here. You get to see things going every which way. Rory,
is that a hit by Coolio?
It should be soon. Rory playing his first event as an Open champion. He missed his title defense last year because of injury. Hideki Matsuyama, just a guy that's so solid, tee to green. And then we've got Bubba Watson, who is, as you said, George, going down to Rio to play in the Olympics and represent the U.S. And this has been a tournament that hasn't really meshed well with his style of game, but you never know with his creativity around the greens. Could be a good week.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, especially right here on Golf Channel NBC. For Will Gray, Tripp Eisenhower, I'm George Savarickas. For continuing coverage of the 145th Open at Royal Troon, continue to follow GolfChannel.com.